So which is not an example of an effector cell. An effector cell is something that a motor neuron connects to. So which one is not? What was the answer?
I.
Yeah, you could actually argue that the eye, because the eye doesn't have muscles connecting to it. So if you were thinking the muscles that control the eye, you technically could say eye if you're thinking that. But if you're thinking eye is the sensory input part of it, no, it's not. That wouldn't be an effector cell.
Yeah. Whose name starts with A-B?
I'm behind you here. Who's abs? Hello? Mr. Angus? Is it mom? No, it's him. I'm not abs. No. What substance? Rather the lack of abs. What? Wait, Mr. Angus, what substance mean?
I would say pain. I have no idea.
Oh my God.
No, it's a bad question. I think there's a missing image.
What happened to life?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What?
Okay.
I didn't click anything.
No, hold on.
I don't understand. I think I got that one.
Oh, this is a good question.
I got it correct.
This is a good question.
I don't know. Oh no. Ah, damn. Oh my God.
The synapse is the connection point between a presynaptic neuron and a postsynaptic neuron. It's where one neuron communicates with the other. Axon's the long line, and then it ends at the axon terminal bud. The axon terminal bud is what's coming into contact with the synapse. Schwann cell is the cells that form the myelin sheath. The myelin sheath. The myelin sheath that surrounds the axon. Okay? So the receiving portion of a nerve cell would be the dendrite. Question, yes? Yes, those are all good terms.
Oh, come on.
Point 3 is the falling part, not the rising part, but the falling part.
Oh wait, no. Wait.
Good job.
Third. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I put the back. Oh wait, no. I'm stupid. So stupid.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
I put diapers. Oh, yeah.
Integration is the answer. So processing is just kind of explain what integration is. So integration is kind of bringing it up to your brain for processing. So integration is the correct answer.
Oh, okay.
It's obviously serotonin.
Dopamine. Epinephrine is fight or flight.
13.
What's serotonin?
Really?
Serotonin is mainly sleep.
Oh.
It also plays a role with mood, but the main happy ones don't.
Oh wait. Wait. Oh.
Oh, my favorite game.
I'm 8th place now.
In
That is
There's multiple answers here. Actually, no, there's not. There's one answer. That should give it away. All the above. That's what your sensory neurons do. Where does integration take place? Where's Patrick? Oh, there you are. Okay.
ID check.
What's that? I'm recording it right now. So the spinal cord is where integration takes place, and it's at the interneuron. The sensory neuron takes in the information. It connects to your interneuron within your spinal cord for integration, and then it can connect to your efferent motor neuron, right, sending it out to an effector cell, causing a response.
Oh wait, what? Oh wait, no. Really? One person. Wow.
So that whole thing is known as a reflex arc. It's the name of that process. How did you not know that one? How did everybody miss that one?
Because
the previous question. No, it didn't let me click.
Oh, because that's like one of the slides we definitely went over. All right. You guys all fail. This was in the video yesterday, and I mentioned it briefly, but I said you didn't really need to know it. What causes the neurotransmitters to be released? What ion? It's not sodium, it's not potassium.
yay!
Right? So when the impulse reaches the action potential reaches the end of the axon terminal button, neurotransmitters are released. What actually causes the neurotransmitters to be released or recruited is an uptake of calcium ions. You don't need to know the calcium ions. I won't put that on the quiz tomorrow, but you kind of saw that a couple times. I know, but I'm quizzing you anyways on Saturday, so I'll see you here around 10. Who's relaxed system?
Oh my god.
Woo!
First of all, you didn't have to tell me the first part because I realized
What? Agenda.
Is everything on the PowerPoint?
Yes. Everything.
Everything else because not on PowerPoint.
PowerPoint in detail. We'll get great.
Well, I mean, I also posted 3 different videos and other stuff there, so yeah, the PowerPoint should help you. Yeah, the PowerPoint's good.
Yep.
Yep.
Doing really big answers.
Well, do you want me to commit to saying that only things are on the PowerPoint or on the quiz spot? I won't commit to that. You've done other things than just a PowerPoint. But did I give you a PowerPoint as a distraction? No.
But it seems like
Let's go, log in. We got 2 more.
It's just that one part, but the nervous system.
Just the nervous system.
It's not the overview part. It's
Just the nervous system. The quiz is just nervous system. I am recording this right now, so you're going to hear everything what I'm saying right now. You'll hear it again.
Let me know. Get to load.
Are you serious? That's The last class, we got through all 3, then we did a Disney Kahoot. It was. But we didn't do what you did yesterday, so we like it. Are we ready?
I think it was the previous question. Get it? They asked me to change your name.
That's everybody? You can still log in as the game's starting up.
I don't know.
Dude.
I don't know.
It is the opposite of hyper.
Thank you. Thanks, Brian.
That's a great step.
Oh, isn't that the thing that close to butterfly reaction? No, it's the brain.
Is this sorry, what did I get right?
Hypothalamus. You don't need to know that. There's some questions in here you don't need.
I love the answer. Oh, yeah, we're both.
There's a good question.
Oh, this is easy.
Oh, what number? Oh, I know. Oh no, damn it! 55 is the magic number.
No, wait, actually, the best stuff.
That's the trigger.
Oh, damn it! Oh,
Negative 55 is the threshold potential. The resting potential is negative 70.
I cannot see. Who knows?
giving us like 60 seconds.
Let's go, answer. Who did answer?
Is it blue?
How many people put dendrite? A bunch of people, but what actually is on the dendrite that receives it first? The receptor. What is occurring at B?
You don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, this is the part where like I was like clicking random stuff.
Wait. Yay.
Oh, I got those Star Wars fans.
So what's occurring at B? It was the beginning of the action potential. It was. You don't necessarily have to memorize which direction the channels are going, but not bad to know. But we would call B. It was the depolarization, which is when all the channels open up and the sodium floods into the cell.
Chipotle, don't go to Chipotle.
I couldn't find E for a while.
Abby just came over with stuff too. No, she found it. I'll take it.
Oh.
Just put it over here.
Oh, she found the.
She just found a couple things of mercury. I'll show you. They're like, I don't even know what they are. They're not thermometers. This is not your quiz tomorrow, but this is the base of your brain, just above your spinal cord. It's called the brain.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When it's done, just skip forward.
How do I say?
Just you'll see when it comes up. Not yet. After everybody answers.
Everyone did it.
I don't know.
How do you press next?
What did you press?
What do you press to go forward?
No, you have to like, you have to look at the screen and press it.
Oh,
Next.
wait.
No, next again. Let's do it. What is LOL.
Wait, where's two?
Where's two? Oh, okay, yeah, outside. It's fine. What the hell?
Yes.
It's either wrong or this.
Skip it.
Skip forward.
Yeah, we did. So did I.
All right, you should know this. What's this right here?
Soda. You can skip it. Everybody.
Yeah, I'm just
Really?
Well,
They know, but what happens when we fix it behind remote science? And they're not going to do that. So everybody knows, everybody agrees.
Wait,
But nobody's doing it.
What?
So they'll know. At some point, I'll be on top of it. You should know this.
Yeah.
Everybody else is out. I love time. I need competition.
Yeah.
This is important.
Yes.
What does it have a picture of?
That's.
No, it's a. I can solve. Oh, it's easy to know.
Oh, no, it's pointing to the actual.
Damn it! Yeah.
Oh, no.
No! I got it.
Which is it? I got
That's what I
two.
thought. But it's
Too good.
No, the circle is the top of the cowboard.
It does.
Don't do it. No, we need to ask.
No, do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Oh, you did it.
What's a note of answer? Mr. Angus? Who's getting fired?
We have one more.
Who's in fire?
Once everybody logs in, you can start it up. Yeah.
It's a good thing I haven't saved it for long. She was like this. I was like that. Like, whoa. Where you go?
Devin, C plus is classic.
Where? Oh, that the Chromebook?
Yeah. Look it up.
Yeah. Is it? With I don't see.
Classic.
Do you see? I don't see the cursor.
Sorry.
Oh,
I got you. My bad.
oh yeah. Sorry.
All right, Devin, you control it.
I got this. 4, 5, 5, 4, 6. So I'm gonna do glasses.
I need glasses too.
Oh shit. Oh my god. I got it. Oh, that's nice.
Music though.
Alright, I see the cursor. Still see it? Actually, no, I don't. Whatever.
Watch. That's after.
Is everyone in? Is everyone good? Everyone in? Everyone in? Alright.
I spelled it wrong.
How about now?
I think
Okay, so talk to
Good?
Yeah, I can do that. I can do it.
Wait.
The other person.
Well. Yeah.
So I have responsibilities now too.
You want to say
I'm 6. What is the end of
Oh, I got it wrong.
what? Yo, you gotta move them. Oh, sorry. Thank you.
I don't know this.
Oh, shit, what?
Oh, okay.
Next.
It's just a weird combination.
Haley, I'm playing for you. Come here.
It's only
Oh,
good.
okay.
It's just a weird combination.
Are you like messing around?
Oh my god. It's obviously the
What?
It is what?
I thought it was like
You sounded so smart for 0.3 seconds.
The bar is going. They're all coming. I didn't think they were. I didn't get last minute. I was expecting nobody to leave.
I was right.
Whoa, exciting. By the way, those triangles are operating in the
I don't think I have any points to skip.
Oh, dude, so what's an AC?
I'm free to experience.
Monster.
I forgot.
AC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks,
Devin,
let me know.
Yeah, whatever.
As soon as I talk to Lauren, I just have to.
I know, I still
We're just gonna do all the orders and stuff. All of our book counts.
I know they didn't tell me. Yeah, sign up on the wrong side. You want me to do the current ticket?
I gotcha.
That's not my fault.
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
ACH. So ACH is up there. That was one of the ones you probably had to do a clue about. Don't worry about ACH. It's a whole bunch of neurotransmitters, right? You learned a little bit about some yesterday. You learned about like serotonin is kind of a sleep neurotransmitter, but also mood. Dopamine is kind of the pleasure neurotransmitter. Epinephrine, norepinephrine are really the fight or flight response. ACH is acetylcholine, and what it's involved with is really kind of controlling muscles. So ACH is really associated with your neurotransmitters that control your muscles. You don't need it for the quiz tomorrow. Any other questions that popped up? Because I'm sorry, I was sorry. This one right here.
No, it's sympathetic beta, like.
So you should know this one. This is a good one. I know, but you should know it because which part of the nervous system becomes activated when you get scared? Which one is the ramp up part of the system with fight or flight? It is the sympathetic. So that is definitely fair game. That was on the PowerPoint. We definitely talked about that. Parasympathetic is what calms you back down. They're part of the autonomic nervous system. So make sure you know that.
Okay. Cat type.
Afferent, I think I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this class, definitely mentioned other class. Afferent means coming in. Efferent means going out. So which neurons come into your system? Take information into the system.
I got this one.
Oh my god. I'm already.
Sensory neurons. That would make a motor neuron, not afferent, but the opposite is efferent with an E. Just good biology terms. Yep.
So the efferent would be like the
The efferent would be the motor neuron.
Oh, what the? I'm gonna get it wrong this time. I forgot about. What was the one where it's like negative 77?
Negative 55 is the threshold potential, the start and action potential. Don't worry about that number. Negative 70 is all you need. There's two answers here.
Electrobuccal.
Wow.
Legalo.
God.
What's this? Sclerosis? Oh.
Yeah.
So multiple sclerosis is a breakdown of your muscle movements, right? And it's affected, it's caused by your immune system attacking a part of your neuron that speeds up electrical impulses. Huh.
Really? I don't really like 21st place.
I spelled it wrong.
Oh.
What?
I didn't get it.
Reoperating. Dang it.
Got it right.
So that's actually a good answer. That was in the videos, right? Neurotransmitters. Do we want them hanging out in the synapse? No, because it'll cause neurons to kind of overload, keep firing. So neurotransmitters are broken down very quickly after they're released. They're either degraded in the synapse or they are reabsorbed, reuptake. Inside the neuron. Inside the neuron, not outside.
Yo, wait.
Negative to positive to negative. Right? It's negative to start with, and then all the sodium ions rush in. It's negative to start with. It's negative to start with, and all the sodium ions rush in to make it positive, and then it gets negative again. We go back to rest potential. Quick.
How are we supposed to know?
Oh, you should know this. Action potential. Oh, you should know that one. You should know this one too.
Oh, wait. What is this?
The soma is the cell body.
Oh,
Yeah. 18. Yay! What is dopamine linked with? You should know this. I believe I showed you a video on it.
being high.
I showed you a presentation from one of the research students.
Wait, why?
Schizophrenia as well, but definitely Parkinson's disease.
Electric boogaloo.
What was that?
Basically,